want to go do karate in the garage? Yep. Did we just become best friends?
Welcome. My name is Anthony, and did we just become best friends? So, the other gentleman with me today is not Alfredo. This is Manny. We talked to him about him a couple times. He's the current fantasy football champion in our league. This is just a podcast where we just talk about whatever's trending in the world, video games, sports, and kind of whatever else we talk about. So today's your first day on the podcast, man.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Are you nervous?
I'm all right.
You know, no one ever watches this damn thing anyway. It's all right.
It's fine. We'll watch it. We'll watch it eventually.
No. But we talked about you, me, and Alfredo. Alfredo, unfortunately, ran into some issues and he can't be here today. So he said the show must go on. So we're going with it today.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So man, I've known you since third grade.
Pretty much.
I think third grade.
Third grade.
Yeah. That's a long
Forever ago.
time ago. Long time ago. Yeah. And then we grew up. We played a bunch of sports.
Oh yeah.
You know, we were playing football in the streets, basketball at the court all the time,
everywhere.
baseball, softball.
We used to play basketball on milk crates.
Milk crates, yeah, in like the alley / backyard kind of area.
Pretty much.
Hockey. I don't know, did you ever play hockey with me and Omar?
Indoor, not outdoor. Though.
No, like we.
Indoor
yeah,
for sure.
We do a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I think were you on the high school basketball team? I know you were on our elementary school team, weren't
Yes.
you? With all of us.
Oh yeah, because we used to coordinate Bulls jerseys. So like you'll wear the Scottie Pippen one, I'll wear the Mike, or you'll wear the Tony Kukoc, and I'll wear the Dennis Rodman. We used to do like some pretty silly stuff.
There was times we did it without even.
We just did
just
it.
like
I mean,
Laker Day. Boom.
Yep. Well, yeah, I used to play in high school. We also did a 3-on-3 tournament in high school that we fell short, but which was extremely fun as well.
But given our credit, because you were able to have one staff member.
Correct.
We were the only team in the Final Four without a staff member. You know, and we came close to going to the championship. I think
we knocked out the first seed, and we were the 8th seed.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
And they were pissed.
Yeah, we.
Good.
Yeah. I don't even remember who was the first seed.
I'll tell you right now. But
do you remember who was it?
Mr. Brown.
Oh, that's right.
Antonio
that's right.
Natali. He was like 6'4", 6'5".
I think Marcos was on that team, was he?
Marcos was not, but it was Jose. Danny Lopez, who was also the starter of the basketball team. So Antonio, Danny, they had Little Abel.
Okay.
I think that was their third, and then Mr. Brown was their fourth. So they had a nice little
So
squad.
they had at the time they had the basketball coach and 2 basketball starters, and then we knocked them out.
And we had him and I.
Me, you. It was Omar.
And Rosani.
It wasn't, yeah.
I mean, no offense, but
she's
like 5 foot tall.
Yeah, she was on. But I mean, she was on the girls' basketball team. I think. I was. You and Omar were for a little bit, and then you guys backed out.
Yeah, we just started doing other stuff.
Yeah,
baseball,
but I mean, we still played. I remember in elementary school, it was like every weekend. Wake up at the crack of dawn.
Basketball.
Go. You know, I remember at one point I was bringing a gallon of water and a couple sandwiches because I didn't want to leave the court. Like we would walk down to the corner store, Candies,
and get sandwiches there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then go back and play basketball. And it was like sunrise to sunset. It was just every Saturday, Sunday.
We used to play in the wintertime too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how ridiculous we were.
Yeah, dude. I remember I was a little like chunky, and then I lost a bunch of weight. Just by doing that.
Cardio, man.
It was just all day. Yeah, all day. Yeah. So I think, but you know what? I think us being like that, and then Omar, he would play with us. Not as much as us, I think, but he would join, and a couple of other friends would always play with us as well.
I think part of it was our competitive nature, and all of us. We just always wanted to compete and play whoever was on the court. So it was all like, it was more of like, this is our neighborhood, and we're gonna take on
This is
whoever.
our court.
Our court, yeah. Basically, if you're from a different, not neighborhood, but a different street of the neighborhood, we're gonna play you two or whoever. So it was more like that. It was we were just really competitive.
I think we beat a lot of people, like adults. You know, we were 8th graders. We were beating adults.
Yep.
You know, high schoolers. You know, we were
teenagers, the older kids.
Yeah, we were taking on everybody and beating them. That was fun times, man. That was fun times. Which is gonna lead us into our topic for the day, which is all the basketball stuff going on. There's been so much going on in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Like July, whatever day.
Well, honestly, it started off with the whole Paul George thing, whether he was going to go or stay. Kawhi Leonard, whether he was going to go or stay.
After
then
Golden State won, was Durant. That big thing is like, what's he gonna do?
Oh, in terms of that, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I want to stay, blah blah blah. But I was like, saying it and doing it, but
right.
That wound up working out pretty well.
Yeah.
So a few big ones is obviously Kevin Durant. I don't think that's a big surprise. I mean,
no.
he's gonna probably finish his career there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he wants a ring. He's definitely committed to that. I mean, despite everyone not liking the whole super team thing, but this is the new era of basketball. It's the same thing with the new era of basketball with no defense. It's all offense now.
Yeah.
So you just kind of you go with the new era, how it goes. This is how it is. So that was surprising. That wasn't a surprise for him.
That wasn't too much of a surprise.
I think the whole Zach LaVine, the Bulls matching him that's a toss-up, man, because you just don't know what he's going to be like.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's
a big gamble.
After an ACL tear, and then he only played so much last year for the Bulls. What is he really going to offer you, and who are they going to fit with him?
You think they would have learned from the players with ACL injuries, right? I mean, it's like
I think Westbrook was the only player who actually came back and full force, and still is right.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna get it out of the air real quick because I know everyone's gonna ask the big question, the king of all trades, but we'll save that to the end.
Okay.
Because I think that's just.
That's fine.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But we'll save that one to the end because I know everyone's gonna want to hear about that one.
Yeah.
This one actually surprised me was Rondo going to the Lakers. I don't know how much they paid for him. It couldn't be too much.
I couldn't. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
But I was like, oh wow, okay. I was like,
well, it makes you think what they're gonna do with Lonzo Ball because they already have a guard, and now I know Rondo is your. The last of the dying breeds of actual point guards, but he is at his ending of his career. So what are you going to do with him? And essentially with LeBron signing with the Lakers. So what do you do with Rondo?
I know.
You only got a couple years with him. I mean, unless they're planning on using him to support Alonzo Ball and help him develop more, then that's
what I think.
That's a good move then. But in essence, it's like you get playoff Rondo or you get Rondo who doesn't show up.
Yeah. See, I think they're doing it hey, here's this veteran that's from this great era of basketball. Let's
Celtics
bring him in. Yeah, let's bring him in and show the new guy some of the ropes. I get that, but that's for me a high school mentality. Professionals usually, for the most part, don't take people under their wing, because they're the star. They're I'm getting paid. I want to play. I want to make money. I'm not getting paid to babysit somebody else.
Right, and I also don't see Rondo being that type of
exactly.
player. I mean, yes, every so often I've seen him, pointing out things to other players, but then you get the pouty Rondo.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be on the court.
Yeah, he gets in his little moods.
We'll see how he meshes with LA.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Anybody else on this list that you see? I see one.
Let's see, Michael Porter Jr. might be a good one. Demarcus Cousins guy.
That's the one I was looking at. Demarcus Cousins. I'm like, what? I was like, really? I'm like, after didn't him and Durant have this big thing for a couple years?
His contract is so cheap that he signed.
Oh, I bet.
I couldn't even tell you what it was, but it was like, man, it was so cheap.
Because he's just so injured all the time, right?
Yeah,
he's coming off a bunch of injuries and or something like that, and he's not the player he was. But then you put him against or put him with like Durant, and then there was all that big feud that him and Durant had a bunch of times.
But I also, that's another thing. I mean, grown as guys, they're gonna have to put their issues aside. I mean, Dennis Rodman did it with Scottie Pippen.
That's true.
So
they got to fist fight,
and that's an actual brawl because that was actual basketball, not what you see nowadays. This is just how that hurts.
I think that's when this one's gonna be old men talk about basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I don't know, and it works pretty well because that new movie's out with the basketball player. I can't think who's the star. Uncle Drew. Yeah. That just sounds like old men talking about basketball, man.
Pretty much
all the time.
But yeah, that DeMarcus Cousins, I don't know, because you got Draymond there, and you got both guys who are high in technicals.
Yeah.
They probably might not play full games.
Yeah.
Full season for that matter.
But Golden State doesn't have that goon. I would say goon because goons are like not even a thing in basketball anymore. But that big guy that could do something. You know what I mean? Like that's not a thing as much as it used to be. Like Rodman was that, Malone.
Yeah.
They were like the big guys that would like an intimidator.
I see. Yeah. I think Draymond is that guy.
He's the guy right now.
Definitely the loudmouth of that team, and then you add DeMarcus, which is another loudmouth. It's just they are definitely the bad guys. They're like the Miami Heat, when LeBron had Chris Bosh and Wade and all of them.
Yeah.
They were the bad guys of the NBA, and I think that's what people want. People actually want to see kind of like a bad guy prevail, and then there's a good majority of people that also hate that as well. So it's good. It's good for publicity, for the media, for all of it. People really, because it's something to talk about. You're always I'm like, oh, this dude went on that team. Now it's this super team. They reinvent. Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things that you hate it, but you love it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Super teams are insane right now. Like, I can't believe how.
It's just, it's so common.
Wait, it's nuts. It's
gonna
nuts.
It's going to be the Warriors against the Eastern Conference in the NBA All-Star.
Basically, because it was here we'll get to that one in a minute. So let's see. As of yesterday, from recording this podcast, Parker, Jabari Parker, signed a 2-year contract with the Bulls. So obviously, us being Chicago people, we're Chicago fans and we're Bulls fans. I don't know too much about
Jabari Parker.
Yeah.
I know he played here. I mean, he's from Chicago. Played with the Bucks, and then he got injured. I think he went to. Did he go to Duke? I think he went to Duke, but nonetheless, high hopes when he came into the NBA. But another kid who got hurt, tore his ACL, was out for a while, and I don't think the Bucks utilized him the way they should, because after he came out of the ACL injury, he just became a bench guy.
Yeah.
And they already had Anis Antetokounmpo.
Oh yeah,
who's like a massive all-star. They don't really. I mean, Jabari just came secondary, unfortunately. But I've noticed Bulls always get players like, for example, Nate Robinson, Marco Bellinelli, and they become nobodies, and they come to Chicago and they become these great players. So if he stays healthy, I can see him being, just one of those guys that might just be just a good fit for the Bulls, but everything's a toss up right now for the Bulls.
Yeah, it really is.
It's just really a toss up. So we'll see. Hopefully that manifests as something good.
You mentioned Nate Robinson. Is he still in the? I know he's playing in. Ice Cube has that 3-on-3
tournament thing.
That league. Yeah. Is he still with the NBA though?
No,
he's gone, right?
No, he hasn't played. He was available for free agent. I mean, as for a pickup, he would play, but nobody picked him up.
I'm actually when I saw it on the news, that 3-on-3 it's not a tournament, it's a league. Mm-hmm. It's an actual league.
Right.
And I'm like, that actually looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't mind watching that, because if we're getting into this stage in basketball where it's all about offense, it's all about
Scoring pretty much.
Like,
Outscoring.
you have freaking all these centers and power forwards knocking down threes. That was never a thing. That was never a thing me growing up, because I played the big guy. I didn't really play center too much because we had a guy that was like 6'6" in high school.
Right.
So I was like the power forward, and if I took any kind of shot, let alone a three, it was like I'm sitting down. Like, I mean,
like I've noted, like shooting for you was second. It was like secondary. That your main focus was defense, rebounding. Is stopping the other guy, which is defensing as well.
But I mean, but that's how I was taught.
Right.
Growing up, I was like, you're the big guy. Big guys don't shoot.
Right.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
Now,
Look, Shaq and this and that, and I was like, yeah, they don't shoot. They're the big guys.
Now you got guys who are, 6'8", 6'9", 6'11", and they can dribble better than some of the point guards.
Dwight Howard, he knocks down threes at times, don't he? He takes threes. I'm like,
wish he shouldn't, but he
no.
does.
I mean, Durant's he's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's about 6'9".
Yeah, and he's knocking down threes like they're
6'8",
nothing.
6'9", yeah.
And I was like, man, when did I miss the memo? I was like, jeez. But yeah, that 3-on-3 tournament. I think since we're getting into that, I wouldn't mind watching it. It seemed pretty interesting.
I have not watched it, but I've
seen it on the news. On the local news.
and I've talked to coworkers who know about it a little bit more than I do, and they say it's pretty cool, and they say it's kicking off. It seems like it's going to be something that people eventually will catch on. Allen Iverson is on it.
Is he?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Now that gives. I know Nate Robinson's in it. I know a few.
He plays when he wants to.
Does he? Well, he's Iverson, so he can do that.
He
He goes, "Oh, you're gonna be my whole time? All right, I'll do it." Yeah. But I mean,
he's like, I'm not practicing still.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. But I mean that's the 3-on-3 is always like, I think Ice Cube was saying it was like the most played form of basketball.
Yes.
Like, on the streets, at the basketball courts and stuff like that. I
can agree to that.
I would love to see like a cool 3-on-3 tournament.
Well, think about
That'd
it
be
like this.
our whole league. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool.
Think about it like this: when I was growing up, when we were growing up, when were you able to get 5 of your friends to play another group of 5 friends?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're playing indoor where, it's a little bit more organized and, stuff like that. But street ball, it's, whoever's there is there.
Yeah.
You could be playing a 3-on-4 or something, but, a 3-on-3 is cool. I would definitely be up for even playing a 3-on-3.
Yeah. Yeah, 3-on-3 is always fun. It's very fast, which is good. And I don't know. I really wish I had time to go see it because the tickets were fairly cheap. And I wanted to go see it. I wanted to go watch and check it out because it seemed pretty interesting. And it's half court, so you're not like going back and forth. It's
right.
Half court. I thought that was cool. But all right, back to the NBA. Yeah, I saw this one today when I was looking over everything. Was Jeremy Lin was is part of the Nets? No, he's part picks to. Man, it was a big trade. So Jeremy Lin to Atlanta for the draft rights for Isaiah Cordner. And yeah, it was a bunch.
Kenneth Faried.
Yeah, Kenneth Faried and Daryl Arthur from Denver for Isaiah Whitehead. So it seemed like a big 3-team trade.
Yeah. Where
Jeremy Lin is going to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, wow. And one thing is like,
well, it seems like it benefits Brooklyn a little bit more. I mean, they have not been talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I think the last time they talked about was when Jay-Z bought him. That was the last time.
And then when they had Kevin Garnett and
that's right.
Paul Pierce, and I was like, well, they're not going to do anything with that. But but I think also Atlanta has they got a good draft pick, so I think that would I mean, Jeremy Lin would just kind of be there to kind of assisting and coaching and mentoring the younger heads because Jeremy Lin's been in the league for a while.
He has.
He's played with Kobe.
He's been, he's played with some of the really good guys.
He's been around for a while.
And he's
So
he's a person that they don't talk about too much anymore.
Yeah,
though.
kind of underrated.
Like he is, and I feel like he's a good player. But the problem is like a player who uses the fundamentals and like the basics and which I think he mainly does.
Right.
No one cares. Same thing like any kind of sport. Like, that guy tackles exactly how he's supposed to. No one cares. Yeah. They want to see the big thing. They want to see, the
cool dunk.
Yeah, they want to see that. The triple doubles. They want to see, who is it? What's his name? Curry shooting a half court three. Right. Every single time he has the ball. They don't care like, oh, he did exactly what he needed to do on that play.
He's a solid, maybe 15 and 6 type of guy and putting up not solid but decent numbers, but I definitely think he's underrated.
Let's see, Dwight Howard to the Wizards.
Yawn.
Yeah. I'm like, he's a cancer, soft. Man. He is such a cancer to every team.
No, Kobe called him soft, and I agree. Yeah, he's super soft.
Yeah, I mean,
he could have been, in my opinion, when he was with Orlando, he reminded me of Shaq.
Yeah.
And then he just, I don't know, just fell apart, man.
I think between him going to Orlando and then everything and all the other stuff that happened now, Orlando is when I feel like maybe the last time when a big guy was able to be a big guy. Yeah. And then I felt like he was part of that movement of like, oh, we can dribble, we can shoot, we can do all the stuff that a guard can do. Okay. That's how I feel because Dwight. I felt like like you said, Dwight Howard was like this awesome player, and he won like Defensive Player of the Year a bunch of times and stuff like that. But now he's just like he's not a big guy anymore.
No, they made it to the playoffs. It was him, Turkoglu, Rasheed Lewis. Oh man, and I can't. They had a couple more guys, but with that being said, like they made the playoffs. Orlando was in the playoff talk. I mean, I can't remember when Dwight was on there, but he was that guy, man. He was good.
Yeah, and I think that's what gave him his big head was that he thought he was like the guy in that team.
You just don't hear about him anymore. Even this trade talk, it was just kind of like whatever.
No. I actually didn't know this Dwight Howard was traded until I looked up this. We're on ESPN, like the trades and transactions and stuff like that, and I saw it. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, is he even still playing? Right. Because he's been so quiet because he hasn't done anything. See the Grizzlies, Kevin Anderson,
the Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean
that works. I mean that works for them. They got the money.
For the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not that expensive either. So
yeah.
Jeff Green went to the Wizards. He used to play with the Cavs.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Wizards did a lot of little moves I noticed on this list. Like nothing, I don't know, I feel that won't be a game changer for them, but they did a bunch of moves. I don't know, maybe
I think
they get the right people together.
I think it will. I mean, honestly, with with the big trade that went to the Lakers, the East is pretty much up for grabs.
Yeah.
And with Boston, they did so well without Kyrie. There's not really much for them to. I don't want to say move from Kyrie, or they can keep him or do. I mean, this depending what they decide to do. But the East is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And the Wizards can definitely be a talk of hopefully making it to the second round for once.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I was really surprised by the person leaving Cleveland because I feel like he was guaranteed the finals every year because there was no one else in the East. No one else. He was guaranteed to ease on in to the finals every single year. And then everyone wants to talk about like how many finals is Jordan, blah blah blah, and all these great things. I was like, well, if he can make it to the finals every year, then you have at least a chance to win, 4 games, maybe. Right. But man, so I think we'll talk about him now. Is LeBron James going to LA? It was really like low key. There was not a big spectacle. It wasn't like him going on TV and a parade and like a TV show and all this crazy stuff. I think it was over text message if I read it right or something like that. But yeah, him going to LA, I was like, really? I figured if he wasn't gonna stay at Cleveland, he was gonna go to LA.
Okay.
But I really thought he was gonna stay in Cleveland.
I also thought he was going to stay in Cleveland just for the more or less the loyalty factor. How he was just like, I won this championship for you, and just kind of like this is his home. But at the end of the day, you know, you ask somebody that moved to California, you're going to pay me how much to live in Cali?
Yeah.
I'm a little biased, man. I like California. I would definitely go to California. But that being said, I mean, I'm not sure if this was a basketball move, and beyond. In all honesty, I think this was more of a personal move.
Like personal, like he knows he has a really good chance of winning more championships, or personal, like as in money.
He lives out. He has a house out there. I mean, not even that. Just it's LA.
Yeah.
You know, they're already coming out with. They already got Space Jam 2.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. The score reported that the other day.
Who? LeBron James, I'm guessing.
Yeah, LeBron. So I mean, he's in Cali, man. I mean, it comes with the territory. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So in terms of basketball, I mean, playing for the Lakers speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a team.
They got the banners to show for. I mean, either if he wins any there or if he wins 1 or 2, I still think that he's going to be in the limelight. He's going to be part of that Showtime that they call it in LA.
Yeah.
And I think at the end, it's not going to matter anymore whether he wins the title. Well, let me scratch that. I think it's going to matter if he wins 1, but it's not going to matter if he wins multiple. I think he already set the bar, and I feel like him going to LA, it was more for him than I mean, that's just my personal opinion than anything else. But I also feel like they have the cap to make the pieces work, to bring the pieces for him, to make it work for him, to chase a ring. But I don't think that's going to happen next year.
He's not the greatest person to play with. You know what I mean? Like I heard the same thing about Kobe Bryant. Like, he was hard to play with, you know. Mm-hmm. Even Jordan, you know, there's a lot of players like he was hard to play with. Yeah. But like Kobe and Jordan were able to like take the lead and do something with it, and then also be able to like he was able to, like, I mean, I remember that one is the second repeat in Chicago where he probably could have took the shot, but he passed it out to Kerr. Kerr drained the 3 for the win, and it wasn't like the series, you know, but it was the game winner, right? You know, it was and in the finals. But I was like, I don't know, like I just feel like, I know Kobe's done that a few times, not as much, I feel, but LeBron is not that person that you can rely on, but he always claims he is, and I feel that's the problem. You know, it's almost like a Dwight Howard, like, I'm going to be this great person, and then like you just spaz out. You know, same. You know,
I definitely feel like LeBron doesn't have the Jordan factor, the Mamba factor, that kill instinct that I'm gonna take over and win this game for you. Now, he does definitely make other players better. That I do agree with.
Do you?
I agree that he definitely makes other players better. Now, is him and his attitude does affect the team? Yes, because it definitely killed the whole NBA Finals when J.R. Smith effed up. And what happened? They got swept. It was the whole momentum shifted, the whole attitude changed.
And it was because of LeBron, I think.
And it was because
he was the attitude of the team.
Because how he handled the situation, and because of the caliber of his status is, he needs to be the person to keep it afloat. Yeah. Unfortunately, he has to be the one to suck it up and just say, you know what, this is a wash game. We can't sit there and say what could have, would have. We need to move on, but that didn't happen. It was more like, I'm mad, and let's get this over with. kind of.
Yeah. That's how I felt. Was like the game one was awesome.
But then after that,
the rest of it was boring to watch.
Extremely boring.
It was boring to watch. And I was like, they don't care. And then game 4, they really did not care at all. And I was like, wow.
So I don't know.
Really.
So I really feel like LeBron doesn't have that. I mean, maybe he might gain that now in his later career. I mean, who knows? I mean, he has Kobe as an awesome mentor. He didn't have that in Cleveland.
Yeah,
he had good coaches in Miami, a good mentor as in Pat Riley, Dwayne Wade, people like that along his side. But in Cleveland, he didn't have much of anyone to fall on. Does that make sense? Like anyone to kind of like mentor or teach.
I mean, like Kobe and Jordan, they had probably one of the greatest coaches ever. Probably like one of the best coaches in any sport ever. And Phil Jackson.
Doug Collins, man. Another one.
Yeah, I mean,
before Phil.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's gonna be a little interesting. I'm not gonna be like glued to every Lakers game.
No, but I'll definitely want to see how he progresses and how things change. I'm a fan, man. I'm gonna watch it. Anyways,
Ball. Like that's gonna go crazy, everything, because then his dad is gonna say so much crap, and then you got him, and then you got Rondo, and you got all these
personalities.
Yeah,
that might clash.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's either gonna be good, like really good, or it's gonna
be a nice soap opera to watch.
It's gonna be a soap opera either way, good or bad. But I'm leaning more towards the bad. Yeah, I think it's gonna crash and burn, and it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah,
it's gonna be horrible. That's how I think. Just because a lot of these guys have attitudes, like you said, and those egos. And
definitely egos.
That doesn't do it anymore, man. Does not do it anymore. But yeah, I don't know if you knew Sergio. He's another one of our guys in our fantasy football league. He is a huge Lakers fan, and I'm talking about like before. Like he's a huge Kobe fan too. And he's about our age roughly.
Yeah.
So he grew up with Jordan and stuff like that. But yeah, Lakers, Kobe. Yeah, he's as long as I knew him, that's all it was about. So when I found that out, I sent him. He's like, "Oh man, I can't wait." He was super excited about it all. But yeah, man, that was. I'm sure there's gonna be so much more going on. I'm trying to think what else. Anything else big happened in the NBA that you can think of?
I mean,
that we didn't talk about.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, not that I can think of either. It's just it's just so much that's going on right now.
Oh well, I mean,
and I feel like the NBA is always the biggest one for whatever reason. Like the NFL is big, but whenever NBA moves happen, it's like breaking news.
Yep. Oh well, Jimmy Butler didn't sign an extension.
Oh really?
For the Wolves, he did not.
So
he definitely bid it on himself, which is typical of nowadays for these players, because it's a player's market, man.
It is. It is.
So they're definitely gonna do what's benefit for them. So I mean, I'd like to see Jimmy go to a good team.
Yeah, and we met Jimmy Butler. Yeah. I'll put some pictures
of Jimmy
of us meeting Jimmy down here somewhere. But yeah, that was that was pretty fun.
Yeah, meeting him. Yeah, he's definitely.
He's not as tall as I expected, but I heard in basketball they make you taller than you actually are, and in football they make you a little bit shorter than you actually are.
Huh.
So you can have two people that are the exact physical same height, but like in basketball they might say, oh, he's 6'7", and in football they might say he's 6'4". I don't know why they do that, and it's not like a crazy, but I mean this but they're both like 6'5" or 6'6". NBA is gonna add an inch. Like NFL might take away an inch. And I never understood that. It's like one of these things that no one really pays attention to, and everyone's like, oh. But yeah, I mean, the picture of me and Jimmy Butler, I'm like, you're not that tall, dude. No. Like, you're not that tall.
Well, everyone's tall, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah,
figure, but still, like, he wasn't that tall.
No. And it's like I met. Sammy Sosa on the field before again.
He's short.
He's short, but I also took him during the whole steroid everything going on, and that guy was huge though. I mean, TV, he looks like kind of average.
Yeah.
And then I'm like 5 feet, not even. I'm like maybe like 2 feet in front of him, and we're all trying to get autographs and stuff like that. And I'm like, holy man, this guy is massive. He's huge, And I'm like, I can imagine Mark McGuire. Mark McGuire was bigger than him back in the day,
for sure.
So TV kind of like you always see these big guys that are like 6'9", 6'10", running around next to each other, and you're kind of and then you meet them.
That big, man. You are that big.
Either way, like I wouldn't mind meeting like Shaq just to see how tall he actually is, because like he towers over everyone else. So I don't see too much going on.
I mean, other than we can do Bulls talk, which was the Jabari trade. That was probably the biggest one
that they've done so far.
Isaiah Thomas, he went to Denver.
That's right. I couldn't remember what
that was.
Isaiah Thomas went to Denver.
He went from being like the most like awesome player.
Yeah, he was
and then
the guy.
He's not even talked about anymore.
Yep. That's crazy. That can happen.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna. He has. I would say something to prove next year. Personally, he's definitely gonna come in and be a difference maker for Denver, because he's just that guy, especially when you've been sitting for a while and just kind of antsy.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be an awesome asset for Denver. And Denver got a good squad. They got
they're gonna be interesting to watch.
Jamal Murphy. I like him. But they're on the Western Conference, so go figure. That's good. That's another battle on its own.
Yeah, they shouldn't even do the All-Star game this. I was like, no one's on the East. Who are they gonna have? Like their best players are gonna be like the coach. It's like
they'll have like 2 guys.
Yeah,
they're really good.
It's gonna be such an upset.
Yeah.
That I see. And it hasn't been fun to watch.
Last year they did.
I didn't really find.
They did the Curry versus LeBron team.
Oh yeah.
So they got to pick, the guys they want on their team.
That was pretty fun.
That made it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I do like is the Celebrity All-Star. You ever watch that? Only because Kevin Hart's on it. He's ridiculous.
He's a little much at times, but he's kind of funny.
Well, he's funny because he thinks he can play.
Yeah.
And then he's talking all this crap on there, and he gets blocked, or sometimes he does really well. He gets a little rant where he's thinking he's hot shit and starts mouthing off, and then he gets dealt with.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, the celebrity stuff is pretty funny.
Yeah, I got to watch that. What was that? Usually like on MTV or something, right?
No, that'll come out on. Usually, like what they'll do is. It's around February, around All-Star break, so they'll do the celebrity one maybe like 3 days before, and then they'll go into like the skills challenge. Then they'll do the 3-point challenge. Then I think the following day will be dunks and rookies and sophomores or something like that. And then Sunday is the actual All-Star game.
All-Star game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they definitely make a huge deal, or like a kind of like a weekend out of it.
Yeah, that I know it's the whole All-Star weekend.
Yeah. It's a little dragged out, but if you're a basketball fan, it's definitely something to do over the weekend. I guess something to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I like watching the 3-point competition, the slam dunk competition. Those are still kind of fun.
Yeah, but it's
not the same.
And I heard this too. I heard this like it's not as fun when your guy's not in there. Like when you're if it's not like. Baseball, for example, if we're watching the home run derby, would you watch it if Schwarber was up there?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But if he's not, it wouldn't be that much of a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like it's one of those things like if your guy is actually or the player on the Bulls or whatever squad is up there,
one of your team
you're
guys.
You're more invested.
Yeah, that's
you're
true.
definitely more invested.
That's true. Speaking of, we didn't even mean to match today. This is kind of I grabbed a hat.
And I grabbed the
Cubs.
That's right. And my squad's doing okay. We're still in last place, but
yeah. Baseball has been
not good for the Sox. That's for sure.
Yeah, the Cubs is not even. I think they weren't doing too hot lately.
Doing okay.
But they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when hopefully they can turn it on. But Yeah, there's some games that they lost. I was like, what? Like, no, you should not.
You shouldn't have lost those, right?
But yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was pretty cool, man. It was like watching the Cubs win. It was like, because we both grew up with just them losing all the time.
Oh yeah.
And then lovable losers, they lost.
My uncle was a big Cubs fan.
Yeah.
And I used to just watch him get so mad on TV. So funny.
That's what I do with the Bears now every year. It's like, why? Why did you do that? Why?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I must say, I usually stay loyal. So we're coming up to the end of the podcast. Before we end, what do you think about our fantasy football league that's going to be starting up pretty soon? What do you think? So I think so last year we did online.
Okay.
And it wasn't fun. I didn't.
It was fine. I think it was. I think if we did it this year, you would get a better understanding of how it works.
Yeah.
But in terms of like getting everyone together, it doesn't have that same feel.
Yeah.
Where like we were all here, we were all having a good time.
It takes way longer, but it's fun. You know,
exactly.
It's fun.
It's more fun that way.
It's fun. Yeah.
The other one was too quick, and it was just like
Yeah, it was done fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just sitting there like, all right.
Well, I guess we're gonna order a burger, go
we'll
home.
Get some, time to go.
So no, I think this year we'll do it again at my house. And then I'm more prepared now. I got lights, I got furniture. So I mean, it should be more comfortable.
Right, and you should do a timer. You should definitely do a timer. If not, they get a random pick.
I think we
or at least almost like the way it was on the app. If you miss out on your pick, then you randomly get a high pick, but it's not the pick that you want.
Yeah, you get whoever's on top of the list at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine. We can do that.
Kind of play around with it.
Yeah, you know, so we'll do something like that. But I'm hoping everyone comes back again. I think everyone should come back.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I think Andy wants to come back.
Oh, really?
Back into the league.
Wants to lose again, I guess.
He won the trophy one year. That's why I was kind of excited to have Fredo on here, because I was like, the three champions.
Oh,
I was It would have been the three champions.
Fredo, man.
You know, I mean, he has
think about that.
one more ring than us, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it would have been the three champs, and then the loser trophy and behind
the
us.
background.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna message you to see if you want to bring the belt.
Oh, man, I should have brought it.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we'll do a podcast like around fantasy football. We'll try to get some of the guys on here and
For sure.
talk a bunch of crap. But yeah, that's gonna be fun this year. I know I'm not gonna win on the time I don't have, but I'm gonna play. And I don't know, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I said the same thing last year. I wasn't even gonna play. I was talking all that crap. I'm not gonna do it. I don't have the time for it. And then I jumped on and
last minute, yeah. And your picks were good.
Solid.
Yeah, and then you transition, Johnny. I'm
Johnny, do what you do best and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
Every year he gets this close, and then
it's fine. Just keep doing it. You're doing a great job.
I think I gotta look. I think he had like over 75 moves.
Oh, it'll show you on the side.
Yeah, it tells you
on the app.
And I gotta go back, but it was so many. And it was like all the years I played fantasy football with you guys, with other people. Yeah, I never seen that many. It's like every day he just like he'll drop a player, pick him up, and then 2 days later drop somebody else and pick up the guy he just dropped.
Yep. Yeah, he is.
You ever watch the league?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
No.
So
you guys tell me about it all the time.
It's on. I think it was on Netflix. It's only a few seasons, which is pretty cool. And there's a bunch of NFL players in there.
Okay.
But there's a guy in there and there's a whole episode of him playing somebody else, and this guy, one guy is like, oh, I'm not worried. I'm like, I'm gonna win. And then Nick Kroll's character, he has this like reputation of ruining himself. So he beats himself up, and I see Johnny is like, he's like, oh, do I start him? Do I pick him up? And it's like every move is just a headache, and then for like him it's like a million moves, you know. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I don't have to win. I'm just gonna watch you beat yourself, you know. And then that's what kind of happened. It was like no one told him you have to play
just
blah
does
blah
it.
blah.
He just does it
You know,
himself.
it would have been good, but he could have,
Johnny, man.
Nah, man, he's been getting better for a person that never. I would tell him, even for you, like a lot of these guys that never played fantasy football.
Never played fantasy football.
It's fine. I played fantasy basketball once, and it's just a lot. You have to be constantly on it.
Yeah,
that's why I like football.
Yeah, football
once a week.
Once a week.
You know, the day.
3 games, the most. Maybe 4.
Yeah. So that was pretty.
Well,
good.
I mean, like 3 days is what I meant. Like Sunday, Monday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the games.
Yeah. You know, and then you only really have like 1 or 2 days to do any kind of moves, and then you're done.
Yeah, basketball's a little. I mean, you got 82 games, man.
Every day. All right. So, man, thank you for coming on the podcast this week, man. Gotta get you back on. Try to get a few people on.
For sure.
I know we were talking about doing like a video game one again. Yeah, talk about all that crazy stuff going on.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun because I know you like your NBA 2K stuff like that. You know, I haven't played that stuff in a while,
Man,
but I know you play Fortnite with us.
I've been getting my ass whooped in 2K. It's been bad.
It's been bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you gotta come on a little more often. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end this week's episode. I want to thank everyone for listening to some guys talk about some NBA and some sports crap that that we love. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you don't want to miss the next video, whenever that's going to be, hopefully soon, hit that subscribe button. And we're also on Google Play. We're on iTunes. We're on, not Spotify, Google, iTunes, Radio Public, and also YouTube. So if you want to hear just the audio, you can go on there. And yeah, but thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
You want to go do karate in the garage? Yep. Did we just become best friends?